Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Jeep, recently sent a startling warning to all EV manufacturers. Turn off EVs, otherwise by 2030 you'll be bankrupt. Yes, people, the market for EVs is stagnating and no one wants to purchase an EV. The future of electric cars has been utterly ruined by over $40 billion in losses. Thousands of EVs gathering dust on dealer lots and the unceasing pressure from political leaders. EVs are no longer in demand regardless of price, and the general public is opposing EVs more than before. However, there is another side to this tale that nobody wants you to be aware of. CEO of Stellantis Jeep Carlos Tavares has now revealed everything. Get ready to be surprised if you thought EV manufacturers were doing well. The CEO of Stellantis believes that there aren't enough easily accessible raw materials to supply the demand for electric vehicles. Carlos Tavares, CEO of Stellantis, which includes Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, and other brands, said, "We know that we need lithium." On Wednesday at the automaker's first Freedom of Mobility Forum, as reported by the Detroit News. "We are aware that our production falls short of our requirements. The 130,000 gas-powered vehicles on the road, according to Tavares, need to be replaced with clean mobility." He reportedly said that we'll need a lot of lithium, as reported by the Detroit News. Not only the lithium may not be enough, but the concentration of the mining of lithium may create other geopolitical issues. Long a skeptic of the world's impending switch to electric cars, Tavares first expressed concern in May 2022 that the industry's ambitious EV targets would be hampered by a lack of EV batteries and raw materials. Tavares has expressly said for Stellantis that some countries in which the firm operates just don't make sense for EV sales at this time, citing issues like a lack of infrastructure and affordability. The affordability is not there because the raw materials are scarce and very expensive, and I would add very volatile. Tavares said these industrial dynamics might only postpone the availability of less expensive EVs. Nevertheless, Tavares has said that the business has ambitious ambitions to electrify in the next years. Following their 2021 merger to become Stellantis, the US-based Fiat Chrysler Automobiles and the French-based PSI Group announced that they will invest over $35 billion, $500 million in the development of a range of plug-in vehicles until 2025. Additionally, the business is contributing about $2 billion, $500 million to a joint venture with Samsung to construct the automaker's first electric vehicle battery plant, which is expected to open in Indiana in the first quarter of 2025. By 2030, Stellantis hopes to sell 500,000 electrified cars annually worldwide. It won't be simple to switch to EVs. Tavares' remarks are among the most recent from significant industry players who are sounding the alarms about and losing hope in the viability of the switch to electric vehicles. Automakers are vying for a sufficient supply of raw materials, and Ford and General Motors, Stellantis' crosstown competitors, have signed contracts with suppliers of lithium to ensure that they will each have enough to fulfill their electric vehicle goals for the foreseeable future. The difficulty that EV manufacturers would have in obtaining these components has been highlighted by Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Others, such as R.J. Scaring, CEO of Rivian, have expressed concern about the impending scarcity of lithium, as well as potentially vital elements like nickel, graphite, and cobalt. Automakers are attempting to depend less on cobalt. Concerns about the ongoing demand for certain commodities exceeding the availability have also been voiced by mining CEOs. Even if a lot of experts agree that there are adequate resources in the world for the electric vehicles, business, a lot of them, especially in the US, have not yet been used. It will cost money and take time to get the necessary permits, build the necessary infrastructure, extract the resources, and perform other procedures in order to utilize those materials in electric automobiles. The combustion engine prohibition imposed by the EU is stoking the flames. Tavares believes that the prohibition is pushing people to give up their gas automobiles, but Germany is tightening the screws on this one, because they see possible problems. Since EVs are currently 40% more expensive than conventional automobiles, this prohibition may cause those costs to skyrocket much more. What then is Tavares' strategy? He recommends that manufacturers release EVs with a range of just 30 to 60 miles, which is sufficient for the majority of everyday driving requirements. He is all about hybrid solutions after that, not bulky EV batteries. Let's not put all our eggs in the EV basket, he seems to be saying. Let's now discuss Jeep. Jeep sales have faced a tough period despite some significant victories like the Avenger for the European market and the Wrangler 4OK. Sales fell by 13 in 2022 and another 12 in the first half of 2023. It's a major pothole rather than merely a hiccup on the road. Jeep is replacing Christian Mune as the new CEO with a veteran of Stellantis, Antonio Filosa, due to a decline in sales. Filosa formerly worked for Fiat and the Mark Holding Company. It's an obvious indication that Jeep is prepared to take a different turn. Not only are they dealing with internal problems, but Ford's Bronco is a fierce competitor and is reducing Wrangler's market share. According to data, a sizable portion of Wrangler owners are switching to the Bronco. Jeep is getting hot under pressure in this hard race. Assuming a linear rise in EV usage, Tavares calculates that manufacturers losing money on EVs may only have 2 to 3 years left before they begin to collapse. Their development trajectory may be a little bit longer, 5 to 6 years, because they face more obstacles. But don't lose sight of the fact that time is running out. The affordability of electric vehicles is a crucial component of this whole situation. Tavares highlights that a $25,000 automobile has to make a profit. Automakers are setting themselves up for a crash if they are unable to draw in middle-class shoppers with reasonably priced electric vehicle choices. This goes beyond just producing high-end electric vehicles. The goal is to make EVs affordable for regular people like Joe and Jane. Jeep is actively trying to cut expenses and decrease its break-even threshold rather than passively observing from the sidelines. They have even joined up with Zhejiang Leap Motor Technologies Limited, a Chinese manufacturer of electric vehicles, which offers a 30% cheaper supply base than its Western competitors. Jeep is being careful even as they prepare for a sharp increase in EV manufacturing until 2027 or 2028. A major concern is overcapacity, which has led several manufacturers to reduce their EV expenditures and postpone their debuts. Maintaining readiness for the impending electric vehicle boom while avoiding being caught off guard by excess capacity in the event that the market does not expand as anticipated requires careful consideration. Tavares is certain that electrification is the ultimate goal and won't change in spite of the difficulties. By the end of the decade, Stellantis hopes to generate $323 billion in income annually with its Dare Forward 2030 plan. By 2030, all sales in Europe and the US are anticipated to be electric. Tavares characterizes 2023 as not so excellent, noting difficulties in numerous operational areas while generating industry-leading profit margins. This recognition demonstrates the enormous obstacles that even the most prosperous manufacturers must overcome at this time of change. Jeep's recent agreement with the United Auto Workers provides insight into the human element, which is an additional facet of this change. The corporation is managing both technology and human changes with voluntary severance incentives for us salaried staff and a $50,000 buyout offer for those eligible for retirement. But most important thing to remember is that we need to concentrate on offering more alternatives and lowering prices for the typical consumer rather than only depending on EVs. The whole car industry has to take note of Tavares' warning. In the competition to electrify, it's not just about producing the most sophisticated EVs. It's also about producing them in a way that is sustainable and lucrative. There will soon be a significant upheaval in the EV market, which are unable to meet the technical and financial demands if they shift risk being left behind in the next 10 years. The future of several automakers is at risk, and time is of the essence. At this point, would you consider purchasing an EV? Tell me in the comments section below.